Now, in the institute, we have six scientific divisions here. We have agronomy, we have entomology, pathology, soil science, biochemistry division, and we have plant breeding division. We also have two supporting units in the institute, so they help the other scientists to do their work. So with the agronomists, by the name, I'm sure who can tell me what they think agronomists do? Agronomy. Okay, let me help. So with agronomists, what they do is they research into the different crops that farmers are supposed to produce, right? The good agronomic practices you are supposed to undertake. Let's say you are growing cocoa. With cocoa, shading is very important. The origin point of cocoa is in the Amazon forest in Brazil. And over there, we discovered that cocoa was grown under big trees that was providing shade to the cocoa, because that is what allowed the cocoa to thrive. So basically, what we are doing in Ghana here is to just imitate what was there to allow the cocoa to grow, well, right? So cocoa thrives under shade, but then if you are providing shade, you shouldn't provide too much shade, because plants need sunlight to photosynthesize as well. So what happens is, in as much as you are providing shade in the cocoa farm, you should allow some room for sunlight. So this is one thing you're supposed to know as a cocoa farmer. Spacing is also very important, because plants like to compete for nutrients, right? If you plant one tree here and another so close to the tree, what happens is one is going to benefit the other not so much. So what we do is there's a 10-meter difference with the spacing, so that each crop or each tree can get the needed nutrient that they need to grow. That is also important. So with agronomists, that is what they do. They also vet fertilizers. Some companies bring fertilizers to us, and then we vet them to determine if they are good enough and all that. And we also produce our own fertilizers as well. So with the entomologists, what they do is they are involved with the insects or the pests that are involved with cocoa production. The farmers, the scientists here actually advise this, because the hybrids bear a lot of pods as compared to the Amelonado. Like I said, cocoa, once it's getting old, realize that it doesn't bear so much pot around the tree. So that is why we recommend the hybrid. But then we also realize that some farmers actually like the Amelonado. I don't know if it's the Ghanaian in them. Ghana, we have this thing of what came first is what we are used to. So the farmers actually say this one is better compared to the hybrid. For some, they prefer this. I don't know if because it came first or something like that. Yes. You see, some of them, once they plant, it's already in your farm. Once it's up to the matured age, every year is going to grow. Just that you didn't have enough pots. Yes. The money. Exactly. So, Ghana Cocoa Board, we try to talk to the farmers. Yes. The hybrid. And we also want them to make money as well, because the years are very short. I mean, we also want, if you are making money, we are making money. So we all win, basically. So what happens is, with the hybrid, like I said, the years are very short. You have all the three benefits. What separates Ghana's beans from other beans is that we have fine cocoa beans. We have quality cocoa beans and fine cocoa beans. If somebody is coming with cocoa beans that is made up of just Amelonado beans, and somebody is coming with cocoa beans that have different variety of these cocoa beans, the person has fine cocoa beans compared to yours. But you see, ours is rich. We have different varieties in there, but then you are coming in with just one variety. So that is why some companies prefer Ghana's cocoa beans as compared to, let's say, Ivory Coast. They are the number one, we are number two. But the thing is, they produce in the quantities, we are with the quality. So if a manufacturer buys about 100 beans from Cote d'Ivoire, and they buy, like, let's say 10 beans of Ghana's cocoa, and they use it to make their chocolates, 10 bags of Ghana cocoa equals like 100 bags of cocoa beans from Ivory Coast. So that is the difference. And we regulate our cocoa. They don't have a regulated cocoa system like how we have Ghana Cocoa Board and all that. With them, each farmer can sell their own beans. But in Ghana, we don't have it like that. That is what it is. Okay, so like I mentioned, we also have biochemistry division. When you taste Ghana's chocolate, like I mentioned, with the quality, you realize that the note lingers in your mouth for a while before it drops. But if you taste this foreign chocolate, like the Hershey's and all that, you realize that after a while you don't even hear the chocolate in your mouth. And there's a lot of emulsifiers in there, like the butter, sugar, and milk and all that. You realize that in Ghana, even our milk chocolates, they are quite rich. So the biochemistry division, they are responsible for giving us the quality notes that Ghana is known for. That is what they do. These are the products that we have for cocoa. I also mentioned research into cashew as well, right? From the cashew apple, which is this, there are juices in there as well. So we extract that and we're able to get what cashew apple jam from the cashew fruits. We also have the cashew gin, cashew brandy, cashew wine, cashew nuts. I'm sure you are familiar with that. Cashew nuts butter. This is basically like peanut butter, but you know cashew is thicker. So this is quite thick as compared to peanuts. We also have the cashew vinegar. We have the shea alert semina in the shower gel form, and we have the one that you can scoop, which is this. We have the shea butter lotion and the shea butter pomade. So all these products were made right here in the institute. Here as well, we have the shea butter soup. This is what it looks like. So basically, this is what we do here. Cocoa waste. Okay, so we have coffee. These are coffee beans that are unshelled. When they are deshelled, it becomes something like this. When you roast it, you can see these are roasted coffee beans. Then when you grind it becomes something like this. Yes. Now when we burn this, it becomes something like this in the ash form. It's called the potash. Now we mix this in water and then we boil. I don't know if you've seen alert semina being made before. Once you boil the sediment, you realize that the water is going to evaporate, leaving behind the sediment, which is this. Now this is the base that they use in making alert semina. So black soap. So out of the same potash, we can get sediments that we use in making cocoa alert semina or black soap. And this is what it looks like. You can smell it if you want. So the soaps, we have other varieties as well. We have the table soap. So with this one, we add a little bit of caustic soda to this, and then we add the cocoa butters, right? The difference between this and this is more moisturizing. It has a lot of cocoa butter in there. This is what that looks like. The difference between the colors, we have the brown and we have the yellow. So the brown has a lot of cocoa mass in there. The pure cocoa. So if you have any skin diseases or issues that you want to treat, you want to opt for this one. If you have a dry skin, because this has more cocoa butters in here, you want to opt for this. So it depends on your preference. So, jam. Have you all tasted fresh cocoa before? Cocoa bean. Okay, today we'll do that. Now when you break into this, the beans are in here, right? And okay, so when we break into this, there's cocoa beans in here. Around the beans, there's this mucilage called the pulp. It's very sweet. You can actually lick it. Realize that we can make jam out of that. So we take that and use it to make jam. So this is the cocoa jam made from the pulp around the cocoa bean. Okay, so please, if we all look to our right, so this is the CRIG Primary School. So this is a school that they built for the workers here, because some of the scientists are not from Tafo. When they established the institute, people have to come all the way from Accra, Kumasi to work here, and then they can't be here and then send their kids to schools outside of this place, right? So they built the school so that it can educate the workers here. But then as time goes on, people who are not even working here, you can bring your kids here to be educated as well. So it's just the primary school. We have the senior high school, but then it's not under CRIG, that's under the government. Yeah. So these are all experimental cocoa farms. Yeah. So this is what we harvest and use for most of the products that you saw in our office. So we go and then we harvest our own cocoa. Okay, so let's come here. So this is the coffee farm that I told you about. This is not actually the actual height of the coffee trees. Coffee is quite tall, but because we want to make the harvesting very easy, that is why we've cut them down like this. So this is not the actual height of the... So this is the Robusta type that I mentioned. It's what thrives in Ghana, so we plant more of this. We have the Arabica as well, but They plant them in countries like Colombia and the rest. So the green coffee beans, what you're seeing, when it is green like this, it means it's unripe. When it is ripe, that is what turns into the red color that you're seeing. So the scientific name for cocoa is Theobroma cacao, right? The Theobroma species. And we have different variety of what the Theobroma species. If you go to Brazil, this is how cocoa trees look like in Brazil, like this. So yes, this one. So we have the Theobroma herenia, one is here. We have the Theobroma grandiflorum, a whole lot of cocoa varieties, right? But we brought these ones here because you know we do cross pollination, clonal and something and like that. So the scientists brought it here so they can pick samples from them from them for their research. That is why they are here. So our farm that we are going is over there. We sit in the car and then we go there so you taste the cocoa pods and all that. So yeah, this is what typical cocoa tree looks like. Before it gets to this stage, it first becomes the flower. Sacrifice a cocoa pod for them. So this is the cocoa flower. So it's going to grow into something like this. Before, please, if you can come here and see. So from this, before it gets to this stage, this is the shells. So it's from stage to stage. From here, it becomes something like this, and then goes all the way to become something like this. Yeah, so this is the development stage of cocoa. Normally before we used to rely on bees to do the pollination for us, but it was not quite fast like the way we wanted it. So Ghana Cocoa Board employs hand pollinators. So their main job is just to pollinate the cocoa flowers so that they will speed up the process. Yeah, so that is what they do. So about the spacing that I talked about, you realize that so much space. This is what a cocoa farm is supposed to look like. And this is what we advise the farmers to do. So this is the permanent shade tree. When the cocoa is in the seedling form, we plant like plantain or banana because you know they have like an extended wing. So they are the temporary. This one is the permanent because you know cocoa is going to outgrow plantain or banana. The trick is that if you are picking out cocoa, you want the juiciest ones. You would want to pick the ones that is like a bit yellowish, a bit green, has some stripes of green. This is an overripe cocoa pod. There's nothing wrong with this though. But then let's say you want to make the juice and the wine and all that. This is much juice compared to this. Yes. So this is what you would want. So in the farm, yes, you can smack the pod on the tree and it breaks. You can use a woody mallet. We don't advise that you use a cutlass to cut into the cocoa because you know cutlass is metal. This is food. You don't want any. Yes, but it is wrong. Yeah, we advise the wooden mallet. When we go to the fermentary, we have pod breakers and they use the wooden mallet. Some of them say it takes a long time, almost open time, so they'll use the cutlass. So this is the cocoa bean. This is what the bean looks like. So the white stuff around it is what we ferment to make the juice and all that you saw. So with this, you pick one of this and then you lick it. You don't chew it, you just lick it. It's very sweet. So you can try that. You lick it like toffee, right, until the sweetness is out. It's very nice. Yes, the seed is the cocoa. It's very nice. So you can take one and you can have the rest. So this is for you. Who wants? Okay, so if you look carefully, you realize there are some fish. You see some small fishes, and then they created a path so that the river will come here and then they go to the dam here. Yes. So this machine pumps water and then through the pipes and it goes over there where the staircase is. Normally when they switch it on, you see the water will be passing over the staircase to take out the odor in the water. It's like a filtration process over there. No, the staircase there. Yeah. They start from there and then it ends in the white room. So the water comes from here. We use the canoe over there to navigate the water. So these holes there, you see the water is overflowing because you are in the rainy season now. So there's another one down there. If the water is too much, we just open everything else for the excess water to go. I think last week there was water here. The water is drying up. Yeah. Beira. Yeah. No, it's here. Beira. No, yes, it's the region. For you, is there. This is tough. So the town before here is Kukantu. So after we are done with the farm and we harvest the cocoa, we bring them there, like what you are seeing over there. So this is going to be pot broken. We are going to pot break the cocoa and then scoop the beans out. Once they are done with that, we are going to ferment. So after harvesting, you pot break, there's fermentation, and then there's what's drying. So that is the process. So there are different ways of fermentation, right? We have the heap, basket, tray, and what's the box fermentation. Now fermentation takes 6 days. You need to ferment your cocoa beans for 6 days. That is the preferred method that you've chosen. You don't ferment for like, let's say 2 days, you're under fermenting. You don't ferment for like 2 weeks, you're over fermenting. Each process that you use is going to end up with different results. If you use the 6 days, you get the preferred taste that we want. So with the heap, all you need is plantain or banana leaves. You line it on the ground and then you pour your cocoa beans here, like what they are doing here. You see, it's in a heap form. That is why we call it the heap fermentation. The next thing, you do something like this. This is what the final process is going to look like. Now the tree branches are supposed to secure the leaves because you know it's quite light. You don't want it being blown away. So with this, in about 2 days, you open everything up and then you stir it up. That is because you want to ensure equal fermentation. If not, you have one side being fermented, the other not so much. So that is why we stir it up, so that every part of the cocoa bean is fully fermented. So by 6 days, you are done with the fermentation. Or you can use the basket method, which is this. All you need is a basket. You pour the beans on here and then you cover it up like what they've done here. So with this 1 to 6 days, you leave it there and then you are done. With this, you see that the basket is very small, so you don't even need to open it up. You can just be turning it around and then the stirring goes on. Or you can use the tray method, which is this. So these are the trays. You can stack them up as high as you want based on how much cocoa beans you are bringing in. The last tray, you cover it up like this. Let's say you want to collect the juices from the bean, right? You are going to leave the last tray empty. And then you line it up with the banana leaves and then you create holes in them. You put it under a barrel like what they've done over there. So all the juice from the previous trays are going to end up in there. So with this, fermentation takes 6 days. In the first 2 days, we put the cocoa beans here. Now, if you are fermenting cocoa, in about 24 hours, all the liquid or the pulp around the beans will come off. So you see the plastic here, there are some perforated holes in there and we put barrels under here. So all the liquid is going to end up in the barrel. We cover it there and leave it there for it to ferment. So it stays here for 2 days, then we push it to the second box. Stays there for an additional 2 days, making 4 days. Now we need 2 more days. And then we push it to the third box. Now whilst it's here, we cover it with the plantain and banana and then heavy sacks, because it is the heat that is going to ensure fermentation. So it stays here for 2 days, 2 days, 2 days, making 6 days. Fermentation is done. So from here we scoop and then we send it to the drying area and then we dry it over there. So if you don't want to use the box fermentation method and you're having smaller cocoa beans, you can use these ones. So you can use this one. This is the same as the box. So what happens is 2 days here, push it there, 2 days, 2 days. And if you want to collect the juice and you don't want to wait for this method, right, you can put the cocoa beans here, you turn this around and then you take the juice out. There's a pipe here that collects the juice. So after you roll everything up, the juice is going to come up for you and then you collect it. So we are going to the drying area so that you see the dry goods. Okay, so this is our drying area, right? So like I said, after the fermentation, we scoop the cocoa to be dried here. Normally farmers use this method, right? Mostly, typically in Ghana, you said they would use this method. And this is the apa, that's what we call it. So we created this for people who are having more cocoa beans. So what happens is, once the sun is out, we push everything here. This is worked by the liver there. It's being oiled. Once the weather is changing like this and it starts to rain, we just push everything back there and then it stays there to dry. That is why we created this. If you don't have the money for this technology, you can still use this. The only issue is when it's raining, you just have to rush to cover it up like what they've done here. Brought from different parts of Ghana. So we are studying the disease. So they are all infected with the virus. No, you don't have to wait for 2 years. So every season you harvest cocoa 2 times in a year. You harvest cocoa 2 times in a year. Yes. We have the light crop season. Yes.
If I like eat couple of beans, that is there like
Okay. So we have by the leaves, right? You realize that the leaves are becoming yellow. Even this, you realize that there's some swells around it. So this is some of the symptoms that you can use to eat them. But it's still good. You can still eat it. If you eat it, no. It's still good. It doesn't have any effect. Just that the CSSV prevents the cocoa tree from bearing so much pods. But the cocoa is still good. No. So we have the lemon flavor caramel. So this one is from CPC, this one is from us. We also have dark bars. Ours is 722.